Hello and a very warm welcome to you all. Thank you for joining Global Peace Studies for Sustainable Development in Africa, where we explore and discuss non-violent avenues of promoting peace and sustainable development around the world and across Africa. Our theme today is Dancing for Peace, an experience from China. And our speaker is Mary Ma from Beijing, China. Probably Mary needs no introduction. She has been with us for a long time. She's a regular participant, and we like your contributions during our webinars, Mary. And now, actually, the floor is yours. We are going to start actually with videos. She has prepared nice videos for us. She's herself a dancer, a professional, and a peace builder. And so here we go. Welcome.
Okay, nice.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing this, Mary, with us. Now you are welcome to proceed.
George, could you help me to roll screen?
Yes, Peter is doing that right away.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, brothers and sisters and professors. I'm very grateful to have this opportunity to introduce to you all a very ordinary dancers from China and let you take a look at them in peace. And the Dancing for Peace experience from China. Dancing is the oldest visual art of mankind. Nowadays, the cultures coming increasingly into contact with each other. It coming into contact increasingly rapidly with great impact and far less time in which to adapt. Under the impact of major trends, people may still find ways of understanding through in peace with Beijing, China, and the Serbia jazz dancing cultural exchange. And the next page 3, please. Okay. Dance is the oldest visual art of mankind. Nowadays, the cultures coming increasingly into contact with each other. It coming into contact increasingly rapidly with great impact and far less time in which to adapt. Under the impact of major trends, people may still find ways of understanding through in peace with beginning Beijing, China, and Serbia jazz dancing culture exchange. And the next 3 and the next 4. It's 3. Sorry. Okay, yes. Nowadays, media technology, computers, and AI, and the community AI, electronic devices operate together, and cumulatively all cultures and cultural values are assaulted by powerful force of standardization as potent such values as individualism, self-gratification, and shallow thinking. The second, standardizing the modern state's political institution, which is to control all ideas and the results of the culture in all human activity. The result of this standardizing assimilation. Thank you. And next, page 4. Yeah, this picture from creation. My husband, my daughter, and me. The gentleman, he is Chinese. He loves China very much. He with his wife visited China many times. And the friendship between two Christian families from 1999 to 2024. Whenever I see artificial intelligence, I wonder where should be put my soul, how to share inner love, beauty, and peace, spirit through dance. I think that dancers can all prophesy in turn so that everyone may be introduced and encouraged. The spirits of prophets are subject to the control of prophets. For God is not a God of disorder, but of peace. Dancing art is not being substituted by a superficial entertainment culture. It is being inner, directed. That is globalization of culture in peace. It's from inner. Massization of culture and the cultural identity and the resistance of cultures. No culture is complete in itself. Every culture is to have a future. Many cultures, too, need to have a lively existence in peace of future. Encounter of different dancing cultures. In multicultural societies, one which will inevitably develop to conflict and identity. Due to the increased contact between different dancing cultures has been aptly as a product of massization. It's a young dancing culture, look like a healthy couple. They married with each other and they bore a healthy baby. Also in dancing culture, the Chinese very health culture and meet the ballet. They bore a classical dancer with very beautiful, a new baby. Look like this, a scene. Peace dancer of the world. When the dancer culture of different countries and regions meet, there will be confrontation because of strangeness. For example, the fusion of jazz dancing, modern dance with traditional thinking of China. A hopeful, peaceful Serbia color folk dancers. And next, the mother of modern dancer is Dora Duncan. And next, and the mother of China dancer Dai Lian. And next is is the mother of China dancer Dai Lian. Next is the father of jazz music, Louis Armstrong, with What a Wonderful World. Yes, next. Yes. Nowadays, cultural and religion exchange between countries are becoming more and more frequent. In the face of diversified cultures, How can each country keep its own culture alive while understanding the integration of other culture and coexist peacefully? Chinese dancing art in foreign exchange dancers who will live with dualism of cultures in the process referred to as continuity in change. This process will have a cumulative effect of widening the Chinese cultural horizon without doing much damage to its identity. Many of evidence to support this view in areas in which China culture has been a contact and in contrast with foreign culture for many years. Chinese dance and classical dance and religion. The basis of the scenario is that the core of China cultures has remained and will remain untouched, in spite of Western innovations. There are, of course, secondary changes as the rituals, but Confucianism's core element resists. That's true. Yes, next. A culture of peace is a body of shared values, attitudes, and behaviors based on nonviolence and respect for fundamental rights and freedoms, understanding and solidarity, on the full participation and the empowerment of women, and on the sharing and the free flow of information. This from the UNESCO, the culture of the peace. Next. Page 12. Yes. I really love this part, interesting. Dance cultural identity is at the center of much of the debates on globalization of culture versus localism. In practical terms, the coexistence of different cultural identities is provoking conflicts that did not arise in the past. There is a growing awareness of the right of every identity to survive by its own values, and of the need to find a way of respecting other identities which have the same rights. Amen. Next. Yes. Perhaps it is only certain parts of cultures, the core, that the capacity to resist. Perhaps resistance lies in the positive force of different. The capacity of non-dominant cultures of avoid rigidity and the isolation fate. As the distilled human and collective experience covering hundreds of years, which cannot easily be destroyed. The core of modern dance, the core of jazz, and the core spirit of China. Next. Thank you. Next. In practice, the key to a dancing culture of peace is the transformation of violent competition into cooperation for shared goals. Through different forms of peaceful coexistence dance exchange between countries, such as business model dance exchange, folk club dancing exchange, friendly dancing exchange between governments that can guarantee that the peace is sustainable. Cultural identity and the resistance of cultures. Resistance to foreign cultures exists in every country. Resistance is the capacity to recognize one's culture and criticize what may harm it. This does not necessarily imply destroying the other culture or accepting it indiscriminately, but taking what is acceptable and returning the capacity to opposite domination. Next. And The future of dancing culture perspective in China. People accept some elements of the mass culture while holding fast to the core of their own culture. Chinese in the Western began to fear the loss of culture either in their own lifetime or their children's. They began to learn Chinese culture. No dancing culture has ever been an island entirely into itself. Each culture uses one or more cultural others as a means of self-enrichment and recreative internal changes. In other words, no dancing culture self-definition is ever complete without taking into account other dancing culture and other self-definitions. If any dancing culture is to have future, many dancing cultures too need to have a lively existence in the future. Development like the concept of self-reliant development, which was current in the 1970s, means looking inwards. It means finding in the group's own culture the resources and creative force necessary to confront the challenges of the modern changing world. It does not mean autarky or self-imposed isolation. Jazz dance development of China, like the concept of self-reliant development, it means keeping in mind first and foremost the needs, desires, cultural specificities, and grassroots participation of the indigenous of groups themselves. China in the international diversified dancing exchanges, how to find their own dancing cultural identity in peace, attract each other and integrate their own dancing characteristics, Chinese own style of jazz. Next. Yes. And dancing culture and development for the future in China. Dancing transcultural contexts and exchanges should proceed according to a fusion model of interaction. Fusion models of dancing culture interaction are opposite to two contrasting extremes. The violence conquers or assimilation of one culture and the passive surrender of weaker cultures to stronger ones. Fusion includes cultural encounters. For example, the meeting once fusion is cross-cultural encounters. The meeting of tradition dance of China with West ballet originality suppose mutual acculturation. The key to success is to elimination of all triumphalism and the acceptance of reciprocity. Partner to dancing culture in changes must come together as equals, having a common purpose. Accordingly, both domestically within nations, the international development strategies are needed. No single one of those can be absolutized or giving reductionist authority over others. Although it is their community of dancing culture which confers members of society their primary identification and value allegiance, individuals may also maintain secondary identities and loyalty. And next. Yes, dancing. This part introduced about Chinese square dancing, very popular in China. dancing culture between programmed and desired future. Programmed dance. When communities were simple and relatively isolated, a person generally occupied one dancing cultural realm. For example, the Chinese square dancing. They leave one cultural identity with a few changes as they cross the different age boundaries. The dancers need a new dancing language to make the dance more dynamic. The dancers are assigned a program of study, learning new dancing to enrich the new vocabulary of folk dance in China. Next. Desire dancing. Asian ID and dancing culture is completely opposite to the concept of culture as it has evolved in the West Chinese teenagers. In the context of frequent international exchange and dancing cultural diversity, are eager to new dancing forms and dancing styles with cross-cultural vocabulary, such as jazz dancing, with favored by young people in China. Because the core of Eastern and Western dancing culture is different, they will wander in the two dancing systems, find Chinese youth's own identity. During the cultural exchange in dancing and as a mother of an teen girl, the exchange of opposite cultural difference in dancing will indeed cause cultural identity problems. For example, when I dance in Europe, I do not wear underwear in order to show the purity of the soft art of Oriental figure. Returning to Beijing for my first international dancing exchange, I would hesitate to ask Chinese dancers to take off their underwear and show off the pure, beautiful of their bodies. How do I educate my teenage daughter? Now I'm wondering, with young Chinese in the different dancing systems of the East and the West, dancing experts demand strategies for cultural autonomy. Cultural autonomy does not mean isolating a culture from the outside, would or shining the benefits of modern society. It means simply to ability and power to make one's own choice based on one's own culture and tradition. And next. Yes, this picture very interesting. And we are the big tree. Our team is highly diverse, and among our teams have how to say 3 deaf-mute dancers and 2 blind, who is 60% blind, and 1 who is totally full blind, and 1 who can just stand up after being in a wheelchair. They are all about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 girls. They are disability, but they are dancing star in China. Very nice. In examining some of these scenarios, I show joy on the distinction I have already made between the resistance core elements of culture. For example, in Western dancing, the free and director expression and the female dancers' bodies, the clash of passion and power contrasts with the linear, familiar, implicit, plaintive, and water-clear beauty of Eastern lady. And the Chinese, the malleable, minor elements that are amenable to future. For example, the jazz dancing vocabulary and the spiritual temperament of the core of Chinese culture are used to build a jazz dancing style with Chinese temperament and develop the same time with the word jazz dance. The most favored direction of dancing cultural development in China. In conclude, is that of continued in change dancing style, a process that would widen the horizon of China dancing culture, but without then doing much damage to its identity. Next. This part is very, very intriguing, and in China, modern dancing becomes to dialogue. Is think about philosophy is totally different the Western modern dancing. And modern dance, it is born in the 20th century. The creation and innovation from European and American. It is unlike traditional ballet. It means that the opposition of folk dance. It represents the liberation of the body from the free individualisms and the rejection of traditional rules, expression the foundations of modern city and rebelling against traditional ballet aesthetic. When modern dancing was introduced to China, the challenges facing Chinese dancers radically different social reality and cultural contexts. In China, modern dance is about its own dancing traditions, review, and dialogue. In the early days, such as Wu Xiaobang and Dai Lian, they used the modern dance movements to express the yearning for national liberation, and Lin Huaimin, Cao Chengyuan, and other later dancers. Modern dance become an exploration of Eastern philosophy, finding tools for cultural identity and the universal human dilemma. When modern dance entered China, the meaning of this new dance has changed. The struggle and the literation of the Western individual transformed into the pursuit of the identity of the mean body of Chinese culture with self-confirmation. Next. It is not just the imitation and acceptance of European and American ideas, but also for discourse of global diversity. Active participation with redefinition. In the present moment, we need to rethink this modern dance. The should now no longer be seen in the context of Europe and the United States. The universal standard, it is a dynamic, diverse, and open concept. It is due to the intervention of different cultural subjects and acquire a richer meaning in this sense. Chinese dancers tell the world in their own way and involved in the global process of modern dance. It further broadens the boundaries of new world. These modern dancing styles belongs to the world, also China. It means the art, not unlimited. Art always freedom. And next, practice. Well, I will put this question into practice during the International Jazz Dancing Exchange in Beijing in June 2025. Serbia International Master of Dancing who have did many international championships in the world and contributed to the maintenance of world peace and sustainable development. In terms of teacher, it ensures the quality of teaching and has a positive impact on the dancing career of dancers. The professor she named Olia, and the girl, she is totally blind. She can't see anything. She dancing just from heart to feeling. I'm really surprised. She dancing from heart. She can catch the the teacher's feeling very fast than me, very fast. From her, I learned about how to teach from heart. It's not from eyes. It's very important. She teach me many. And next. Yes, thanks. The first question is it the possibility that Chinese civilization will in the future assimilate the totality of Western cultures? It is not. In practice, the key to a culture of peace is the transformation of competition into cooperation for shared goals through the difference between the Chinese good dancer and the outstanding international teacher of dancing are in softness and expression. To open the heart, feeling the exchange of blessings between oneself, the dancers along with nature. Dancing peace and human rights are indivisible and concern everyone. The construction of the dancing culture of peace is a multi-dimensional task requiring the participation of people at all levels. It should contribute to the strengthening and democratic process and good communication. The process of dancing sustainable, equitable human development. Next. Okay, yes. Second question is, can guarantee that the peace is sustainable in this Jazz International Dancing Workshop. The Jazz Workshop participations were asked to address the theme that a dancing game through peace, teaching, learning, dancing conditions and processes, and appropriate indicator of jazz dancing knowledge, skills, and dancing art values acquired by dancer. The workshop activity were mainly centered around the preparation of a chamber scenes, jazz dancing drama on key sub-areas of the overall workshop theme. After the end of epidemic, people are more eager for the art of close to life, and this situation drama meets the needs. Audience and actors have closer communication, and the dance art is closer to life, which can bring the audience a real experience of dancing art in a sustainable ways. Next. The third question is, how can I be a Chinese jazz dancer and find my cultural identity in this international jazz dancing workshop? The workshop consists of the three main parts. The first part considers dancers' different information requirements for different levels of decision make equal in education, and then moves to a review of established education information collection practice. The teacher will give dancers the beginning of the poem. Then each dancer followed this poem to write their own identity, most romantic poem. And finally, everyone write this poem and can find their own spiritual word. Dancers memorize the verses they write while dancing and with the help of the teachers. They used their body language to dance the soul of their verses. Each dancer finds himself in this poem. In the dancing moments, using body language to cement the spiritual unity of every dancer's forefather. Next page. This part. The second part providing a poem that illustrates how to desire in traits of decision maker by dancers' mind through their poem. For example, consider a situation where a number of students in the class dancing perform quite well on all but one particular sub-dimension. Dance teacher is at providing an indication of the amount of dancing movement that has been mastered by dancer. That dancing students may be possible to learn from the teaching methods and help other dancers that serve more emotions in terms of students learning jazz dance. And next. Okay, thanks. The third part illustrates their body language to dialogue piece issue with the collection dancing movement and analysis of information to fill the message of individual different dancing body language. Different information requirements for different dancing levels of decision making. Non-response should be treated with great caution. It is easy to have sense of competition between dancers of different levels. Understanding and respect for all dancers, awareness of ability to communicate with other dancers, and understanding of necessity for international solidarity and cooperation. Generally, for any reasonable level of reliability in judging a dancing capacity to have mastered a domain with a sub-dimension, it would be necessary to have dancers' confidence and cooperation spirit performance. And next. For dance culture consists of patterns, explicit or implicit. How can I balance their relationship in the international exchange of Serbia jazz dance in Beijing? Meditate, implicit show on the verses each person has written and enter your own dancing world. Jump out of the creative spirit in your own brainstorming, enhance your personal sense of accomplishment, encourage each other to praise. Explicit shows dancers spend a great deal of time practicing their dancing movement knowledge. Next. 5. Here we must note the two major components of every dancing culture, namely the aesthetic aspect and the pragmatic aspect. Changing is a complex phenomenon which is sometimes irreversible once it has occurred, being fragmentized. How to prevent these phenomena in the practice of cultural exchange? Dancers agree to respect, encourage, protect to ensure dancing cultural diversity. Dancers recognize our diversity and our common partnership. They respect all dancing culture and affirm the rights of all people to basic environmental needs. Unsustainable dancing patterns of production, poverty dancing movement, and the spirit that will be the end, the dancing heritage. Dancers need to be trained to understand such complexity, the focus being on the people which will be living the future multicultural society. And this part very difficult for me and also every dancing all over the world, because every morning I pray God, please give me daily bread. Also think about eat bread, the materials. I never think about I pray God aesthetic, shared aesthetic to me. So it's part of very, very, very difficult for every dancers all over the world. And the next, yes, this picture from our dancing exchange the last week. Our team is highly diverse, including people with disabilities. They are fashion models, swing dancers, ballet dancers, ballet dancers, jazz dancers, and club manager. We are together dancing very interesting. And we shared our feeling, our difference, and the characteristics of each dancer together. During this dancing exchange, how did they share the difficulties? They encouraged, they supported each other in terms of their feeling. They experienced the love, tolerance, and acceptance. Their hearts were very peaceful and enjoy. Okay, finish. And the next is Matthew chapter 21, verse 5. Say to the daughter of Zion, see your king comes to you, gentle and riding on the donkey, on the colt and the foal of a donkey. And the next. And the concept is the US jazz. That's already this all. And next. Please next. It's just read it, so it's this concept. And what is culture of peace? This from the UNESCO peace book. This lets people know the real cultural peace is like this, right? And what is UNESCO rules? And when I first joined the UNESCO, I read these words very touched. Nowadays, every time I do the cultural exchange, before I read these words, let me understand what is UNESCO's rules better. This lead me to how to work and how to understand the different culture, different people. It is let me to teach me how to stop to judge and try to understanding each other. And next. And next, please. This is my, sorry. Yeah, this is my reference about this book. Before I write this PPT, I read this book. Thank you. Thank you. This all. Any question?
Thank you very much indeed, Mary, for this wonderful presentation. You've made us, I think, all relax because we are living in this turbulent world, but with dancing, I think you are giving us a more peaceful way of experiencing the life that we are leading currently. And you've just mentioned a number of very interesting ideas. The question of standardization, for example, that also we need diversification. And then you asked, where is this soul? If we use IT, where is the place of the soul?
I'm so sorry.
Yes, the globalization of the culture of peace, of course, from UNESCO. And then you are telling us this is what a wonderful world from this jazz singer. But you've talked also about the capacity to resist, the capacity to resist, a form of peaceful coexistence, and yearning for national liberation. You've talked about a discourse of global diversity. And I liked this one, teaching from the heart and not from the eyes. And I'm sure that many people here have also learned and captured a lot from your presentation. So I thank you very much. And I'd like to ask now for questions and comments from the participants here. And please just raise your hand, or you may also put your question in chat. Let's begin with Afiz. Welcome, Afiz.
Thank you, George. Thank you, Mary Ma, for the presentation. I just need to put my own contribution on the observation of some things that I've picked as just Dr. George just analyzed. There are a point that you made while you are presenting. You talk about cultural autonomy, which is not cultural isolation. It's very, very good. And it showcases that if we don't talk about cultural domination in dancing, it means the same thing can be used to foster peace in the world. So it's like live and let us live. If you have your own culture, you have your own dancing step, you can try to be autonomous about it. And the examples that comes to my mind based on the autonomous, which you say that it's not an isolation, it's like placing different color on a paper. For instance, we have green, we have yellow, we have white, we have green, yellow, any other color can be named. But being on that paper, they still remain their own color, and it has not make it to be separated from other parts of the paper. So I like the line that you just singled out. It's very, very good. Thank you for that. Then what I would like to ask again, in most of the presentation, you only mentioned a blind person. Is it possible for a dumb person to understand instrumental cultural dancing? Thank you.
Yes, interesting. The first I think like you, it's true. In my dancing group, have mute and blind people. I understand the God told me I open the door and I close the door will open the window. It's also, the blind girl, she can't see, but the teacher talk about her about how to move the arm and how to move the legs. Very, 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 interesting. She can totally understand and she move very fast. God gave her a talent, gave her a gift to understand the teacher's emotion. Sometimes I have eyes to see. I just see the moment, but I can't touch the heart, the teacher's heart. And the blind girl, she dancing in heart, so she can touch the teacher's heart very fast. I'm really shocked, And also the girl, she mute, She can't speak. She can't touch the rhythms. But she have eyes to see another people's move. She follows fast, and she find happy by herself, and she really enjoy. And no people tell if people don't tell the girls she's not speak, she's not hear something. No people knows. No people knows. They think they are normal people, and I see, I really understand God's peak is close door, open the window. It's true. Very, very interesting. And I also, you also talk about the color on the paper. It's true. And we are dancing together. Different people have different body language. You told me green, yes, yellow and pink. We are dancing together. You are all right. Sometimes I see my dancer next to me, and they saw the spirit shows different color. And sometimes my best friend, we are dancing together. She told me, Mary, your spirit become blues. That time I'm sad. And one day I danced together with my best friend. We are dancing not from eyes. We are close eyes and feeling each other. We can touch different color. It's true. It's also, and yes, we are dancing together. Also, we have myself feeling, and sometimes we are in a team, but inner we have myself. We have different thinking, different feeling, and yes, the love connects each other, and it's really interesting. Thank you so much. You are a good dancer. You are really understand the dancer. Thank you so much. I'm so happy.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Richard, please.
Yes, I am also, thrilled by Sister Mary's presentation. I just believe that every element or all the elements in culture were made to harmonize situations among the people. I can recount the clothing, the dressing, the food types, the dancing type, every culture. You realize that sometimes back when there was breakdancing, in fact, the entire world became happy the way a certain culture defined their type of dancing. And to me, it's a build-up piece. So I'm also happy. And then I've added certain things as we build peace along. Thank you so much, Mary. Thank you for your presentation.
Thank you so much, Richard, for that comment about harmonization that, accrues from different cultures and how, many cultures are leading towards, a happy life. So thank you so much. And I'm looking for another hand.
And may I speak something? And I'm very thank you. I really like you. Every time you have many questions, I think you are so cute. It's true. And dancing is a short people to understand. Look like my husband one day. My husband, I with my husband to see a ballet show. My husband is sleeping. It's true. He cannot stand. She feel terrible feeling, before I do this TTT representation, I'm very about it because a little bit of people can understand the dancing because the dancing very dream, very not not is can't understand the real people is always living in the future in the heaven. My husband also think if you dance, I go to bed to sleep. It's true. So, thank you. You can understand the dancing girls. They are feeling. You are not asleep. I'm so thanks, so happy. And
Thank you so much, Mary. Yes. Okay, let's go to Jan. Jan, Jean here, and then go to Janet. Jean.
So, okay. Mary, thank you so much for such a wonderful presentation. We always look at peace building from a conventional perspective, but you have brought another dimension in peace education, which is very much connected to African ways of healing and also building inner peace. I remember the time of slavery and the time of funerals in Africa. People use songs, they use dance to get themselves healed from the harsh events that they have met in their lives. And that is very important to look at the peace from from that angle. I remember in South Africa during apartheid, there's a lot of songs that were being sung, not only to fight against the horror of apartheid, but it was a way of uplifting people inside themselves, building people's inner peace, building people's ways of self healing. And I think that is a very important dimension of peace education, that not only to dance for someone to fall asleep, but but to dance to make yourself also fall asleep. Like there is a song, there are songs here in South Africa in isiZulu, which I never understood before I came down to South Africa in 2003. But whenever I had some difficulties, I was struggling with life, I had problems, I had funerals. When I was out driving, I was playing those songs. I was playing those songs because even though I didn't understand what they meant, but the beats of the song and shaking my head was helping me come around those situations that were not very friendly in my life, and that was a way of building my inner peace. Thank you so much. I think we have to expand peace building and inner peace from the United Nations MONUSCO missions of peacekeeping or MINURWA peacekeeping in Rwanda. I was studying what the impact of neuroscience in peace building. So I found how much a child is brought up in an environment that is very peaceful, and the care from the first person who attend to the child, the nurses, the school teachers, caregivers, how that could bring the child and help the child develop as a peacemaker, as a peace builders. I think that dimension of neuroscience is also good to look at it from the perspective of how arts like dancing and singing can build peace. I know South Africa survived the horror of apartheid because they were singing, they were dancing. Even today, they continue singing, they continue dancing to overcome the hardships that they experience, and they remember also what has passed, and it becomes like a process of healing of memory. So the memories are healed through dancing and through singing. But if there is brandy or a nice vodka next to the singing and the dancing, it can speed up the process of of healing oneself. Thank you so much, Mary. That sounds awesome. Thank you very much. I learned a lot from your presentation. I see
Okay,
Peter
thank
is
you.
wondering whether there is any brandy next to him, but I only see the library is there.
Okay. Yes,
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm very care about Africa children. My daughter is a UNICEF member. She every month pay a little bit money, very very short money for the Africa children to have a better life and the clean water. Every time she talk about mom, I love Africa children, so I have a little bit of pocket money to help the Africa children. Every month he pay her a little bit money for the Africa children. It's true. About many years. She love Africa children.
Thank you so much, Mary, for that. Thank you. Thank you. And to your daughter. Janet, would you like to go next? Because you're also, this is part of your experience, I'm sure.
Oh, yes. So you bring that up first. So maybe I share with you.
How lovely, I like.
Yes. Wait, let me fix this.
You told me you are also dancer.
Yeah. It's the same person, in a different age.
I know.
Did you know? Did you know? I didn't know.
Yeah.
Because, it also relates to changing as we grow. Grow up. Dancing was really significant in my learning how to grow up into myself and, grow the person I've become. So I want to, say that I really appreciated your presentation in terms of, yes, very much. Because, for many reasons, but I'll just pick a few, and maybe another time we can have a longer conversation about what we understand together. Because so peace in a way is reaching understandings. How do we understand each other? And one of the things is that we have to learn to talk to people who we don't speak the same language with. And how do we understand each other, And of course, in New York, it happens all the time. You never know what language the person really speaks that you're trying to communicate with. So you have to do what you can. Another thing, though, is how do we use the senses more? For example, I'm working on an ecological relational paradigm for peace. So how do you communicate with nature more? I can talk to my tree down the street, but this is a tree talking back to me. How do I understand? Well, one point is the tree talks slower, So, but when we practice without words, when we practice moving together or learning together, or we begin to understand the scope. I love your image of the when a door closes, like someone loses one sense or doesn't have it, a window opens and there are other senses. The brain takes on the capacities of other senses that they become heightened. We only have so much bandwidth in our brain, right? But if some stimulation isn't coming in and you rely on others, you open your brain, you open your sensibilities. And I think you illustrated that so beautifully and so lovingly with describing the blind and deaf in your so that's kind of called Umwelt, the person's sensory world. And I think all of us are in peace. We have to seek how to open our Umwelt, Umvelt, our world, our self world, to more things in life. And yeah, so that we can reach more understandings. And when we're moving together, wow, that's something so profound, right? Moving together in time, right? And so I have a lot of examples from my marriage where my husband and I were having this big fight. I was making him go somewhere, and he was angry at me the whole time, and he kept saying blah blah blah, but my task was just to walk in sync with him. Just move in sync with him and not respond. And we got to this place, and the man we were meeting with said, "Wow, you're such a harmonious couple." Oh, very funny. Okay. So you describe that too, the harmony and love that you feel with moving with others. And that's, it relates a lot to what Jean K has said too. Thank you, Jean. I appreciate it.
Welcome. Okay. Okay. And understanding and, very treating. And, Chinese people, Chinese so big and they have different countryside and different thinking. And the understanding is difficult for each other. But in my dancing class, I told them, in the class, we dancing together, we can understanding with dancing together. And you leave the dancing class, you can become yourself. Maybe you can't understand, you can't do yourself things, but in 40 minutes, you can understand each other. This is the best. And one by one and little by little, they know each other. They understand is more and more. So it's very patient and not. I just tell them, in my class, you understand, and you go out of my class, you think about yourself. It's okay. It's okay. And sometimes I let my students to look about a tree. So when the blows a tree, look like a dancer and dancing in the air, and told them, if you're feeling sad, you look the tree, you look the feeling, and the wind blows the tree so soft and touch your heart. If you want angry, to the tree, how to dance in the wind. And the wind in the below to herself, not but from human being, it from the nature, from God. Very fast, they come down, they become good friends very fast. And I have, as a dancer, every dancer have a hard time, was have bad hurt by my leg, and I can't dance. The doctor told me, you stop to dance because your leg have big problem. Yeah, that time God closed my door, but God not open my window, not totally closed. But one day I cry. God told me, Mary, you always think about your dancing. You think about another way. It's life. Life have many ways. It's not one dancing ways. One day I told my husband I want a baby. So my husband with me have a daughter, That time I'm open, I said, God, you close my door and you open my window, a baby, I become mama, and mother open my eyes, I dancing very beautiful. My husband told me, Mary, you are a beautiful girl, very beautiful. You understand what is life. It's true. And now I dancing full of love. I told another young dancer, told them, if you hurt too much, if God close your door and you think about baby, you have a wonderful future. You also can dance in very beautiful, more than before. It's true.
Thank you so much, Mary. Thank you. Let's turn to Hubert, and then we go to Mwalimu Kibiswa. Hubert, please, you're welcome.
Yes, thank you very much. Mary, it's quite a while that I could not attend the MAMA meeting every Wednesday, but for this time and with your issue of bringing peace dance as your exposure, as your input, I was so curious and I'm completely satisfied. Some of you may remember that I did already also an input about our Peace University that we are running every year in Africa. And I discovered with your expertise today, Mary, that it's something lacking on our Peace University, that is to move together and to dance together, because we have so many different cultures and nations and people from all the continent with language problems too, so that we can, without words, move together and strengthen our inner peace, as Jan also told us already. We have even a song in our university, the Lord of the Dance. So dance wherever you are, for I am the Lord of the dance, he said. Yeah. And I will lead you all, wherever you are, I will lead you all in the dance, he said. But we do not dance. So thank you for this input. And we may think to invite you for a dance session on the Peace University, or even ask you and please all the others, if you know dance class teachers, women or men, from Africa, to invite to our campus every year in the different countries. But I have two questions to your experience. So you see, I'm very close, but I may think you were talking about the common movement is also overcoming the confrontation, because especially in intercultural dance meetings. So my question to you is maybe a little bit critical. I may imagine that if you are already a peace builder, if you are already based in your faith and in your inner cultural awareness and inner balance, then through dancing you overcome confrontation. But if you are trained as a politician, if you are trained as a dictator, if you are trained whatever if you are socialized in a completely violent situation, which we experience so much in Africa, I would say that I go into the dance and I try to dance in a confrontation way, to express to the others that I am more able, I am more whatever higher than you and whatever. So I'm not very sure, actually, not yet, that how the dance is working and overcoming this socialization. That is the first. The second question is, if we could dare to introduce in a G7 or G20 meeting a dancing session with all these presidents. More and more, we have even ladies in these groups, lady president, lady whatever, European Union president, and so on. So could you imagine that UNESCO or whoever is introducing in their brain meetings for discussion and for confrontation and for convincing the others and all this and being the winner at the end, to introduce dancing, so to reduce confrontation and strengthen common interests sharing. Thank you very much. A little long, I'm sorry for that. Thank you for your listening and for your input.
Okay, and really, this is very challenging, and every different kind of style dancing, the train style different. You look, for example, ballet dancing, dance trained and trained style different from the American jazz dancing. If a ballet girl with American dancing jazz dance together, well, they are fight each other very seriously. They can fight. Yes, yes. And dancing is can't make peace. Can't. You know, this cultural exchange the last week. A Europe teacher stay in China, teach a Chinese dancer. Is in my class have a ballet, you know, belly dance all around the belly around
Sure.
Yeah, and the jazz dance always is a relaxed, you know, dancing. And the teacher is a ballet teacher. She totally confused. She told them, "You are not good dancer. You are so relaxed." And tells the ballet teacher, "So you have to keep your belly strong. You can't relax." They are the first time they are fight each other. The teacher told me, "Mary, I stopped to teach because they are different training style." It's true. And at that time, I think is dancing is not lead to the peace. It's not. They fight each other very easily because different thinking, different training style, and different culture. But why? Totally, we are very happy, and we are in the big family. We are also happy because love, a pure heart, and tolerant is a passion, is true. And every dancer, they want to dance the best. The first is the heart. The heart is pure, is full of love and tolerate and passion is the first. And then you can dance very, very well. So the first time the ballet teacher told them, "Okay, we are dancing together. We are give up yourself character. We are from zero. Zero. Okay, we dancing and try to understand. Okay, ballet dancers always move the belly round. The teacher said, "Please stand up and straight. Let me understand." Okay, the belly dancer stand very strong, and the jazz dancer, the teacher teaches them the ballet movement, and the jazz dancer is so funny, so boring, too terrible. And the teacher, "Please try to understand." Okay, it's understand leads the teacher, different teacher together. And after 3 days, we are totally changed because we are together in the big family. They understand each other. They try to learn different movement. After they can learn dancing in the same way, the one dancing together. This is understanding. This is not from dancing. Dancing can find each other. It's local culture can find each other. And from thinking, from understanding, from tolerate, from happiness. Dancing leads to the happiness. Is people just dancing, no love, no tolerance, no understanding. They fight each other very fast because they are strong. They hate each other very strong. It's true. The first, I think, dancing leads to happy, tolerate, love, pure. This is the basic. I'm sorry. So sorry.
Thank you so much. And I think that's what we need also, love, even for the G7 and the G20. So let's turn to Mwalimu Kibiswa. Nice to see you. And then we go to Stella. Welcome. And Kibiso, I know, is from the DRC, and they are very good also. They are very good dancers there as well. And so I'm sure it's got a lot to share with us.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome, Mwalimu. That's
Asante.
teacher in Swahili, of course.
Thank you very much. I want just to say thank you for welcoming me on behalf of Peace School in DRC and Peace for the DRC. I come for the first time to join Mama and to try to learn with you together. I speak more French than English. I have some Swahili. Of course, this is a journey I want to start. We want to start with you. And today was just a day to discover. And I discovered that Chinese can do what we also do in Congo. We dance a lot, we sing a lot, and would like to share the same experience through the journey. I'd like to start with Mama, and the Peace School in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. So that's what I wanted just to tell you today, and to thank you, and I hope we'll continue to meet. Thank you, Mary, for your presentation, because I learned something new, and I will tell you about that later. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And I just want to say dancing is not lead to peace. That's not, many countries doesn't have war dancing before they they make war before they dancing together. They feeling so high and they kill each other. They form dance. That's not lead to peace. It's true. And dancing, some dancing is lead to kill each other and let the people so high spirit to kill each other very bad. Also from dance is true. And I think what is the peace and dancing's pure heart and love through the dancing is make the peace. It's dancing not to make peace, not dancing. Many kind of dancing is kill each other, many, and I'm very happy because tango is Oriental dancing. Many dancing style from Congo, many, and salsa and jazz, many is dancing is tango is dancing's hometown all over the world. It's true, and this I just want to teach people is dance did not lead to peace, not. Is I think the first, the pure heart, love, the patient, and through the dancing to lead to the peace. Dancing is a bridge. It's a bridge, it's a tool. If we just think about, I dance, I can make peace, it's terrible, because many dancing is before make a war, before we dance each other, very high and kill each other. I just want to say, we have a pure heart, love, patient, tolerate through dancing to make peace. It's a bridge. That's all.
Thank you. And I would like to be allowed to leave now because I had another program. But
Thank you so much. We'll see you another time. Welcome back.
Thanks.
Great. Thank you so much, Mwalimu.
Asante.
Let's turn to Karibu sana. So Stella, and then go to Janet. Stella, you're welcome.
Thank you, George. And Mary, thank you so much for your presentation on Dancing for Peace. You know, it actually reminds me of a powerful example from my field work in Liberia, where women from conflicting communities actually used sewing as a peace building strategy. For example, women from community A would have their clothes tailored by women from community B and vice versa. So this practical necessity of taking measurements, touching fabrics, and adjusting designs actually created a neutral space for interaction for these women. And you know, the small and repeated acts of collaboration, like pinning the hem, discussing patterns, and slowly actually build trust and spark conversations that in different settings may not have necessarily happened. So it actually showed a beautiful example of how everyday activities can become instruments of reconciliation when intentionally designed to foster connection between women. And that's what I experienced while in Liberia. And in light of your presentation, when you talked about dancing for peace, what actually came to mind was, you know, I thought of the human body and what happens during conflict. The fact that during conflict, our human bodies, they go through a lot of trauma. So at the end of the day, these bodies, they end up carrying trauma, they end up with cultural taboos and political histories. So I really do appreciate the fact that you use the aspect of dance for building peace, because it represents, you know, a transformative strategy that doesn't necessarily speaks out loud, but the body actually manifests and bypasses those verbal barriers by demonstrating with the different styles that they dance, be it rumba, be it ballet, be it a tango, you know, through these various dancing styles, they tend to showcase, you know, what the body has gone through, what society has gone through, without necessarily speaking it out loud. So I really, really do appreciate your presentation, because through dance, we actually and we physically reclaim our agency in one way or another. So thank you so much for your presentation.
Thank
And,
you. Thank you so much.
Also, thank you. You are right. It's taboos. Yes, you know, I'm Christian. I sometimes dancing before I pray God. I tell God, God, please tell me what kind of I dancing you feel happy. And you know, the many dancing in all the world is not good for God. Is God don't like the dancing and very angry for them. And before dancing, I always pray, God, please let me understand the dancing you like or not. If you don't like the dance, I stop to dance. It's true. When I with dancing together with God, I really find the dancing very happy, very healthy, very make peace. If I dance without God, I just dance by myself. I may, yes, you are true. I may was trapped by the cultural, the trap and the terrible taboos and joining the darkness, the terrible feeling, because the dancing is not good. You know, the world is not the dance always good. It's also many terrible dance. It's true. Thank you so much. Every dancing, I always think about God. Please tell me what is real dance. That's very important.
Thanks. Janet and then Eda, please.
I have a kind of clarification. Okay, I'll go. You see, what's the intention? Mary's describing her intention. What's the intention at a G7, G20 meeting? It's power, it's domination, it's competition, it's obfuscation, it's secrecy, and, a very focused message that's already been translated into multiple languages. So it's already been, honed. So what's the intention? And of course, I still like your idea, though. Herbert, but the other thing is, because we were talking, Evelyn, we were talking about this, switching frameworks. Like, as Mary says, yoga, I was totally shocked to learn that yoga was used for military training. Tai Chi was used for military training. So you can live through the suffering of being a warrior. So you can build strength. So you can do warrior two. You focused on the enemy. So that is about intention. And so when the belly dancer, or let me say ballet, because I experienced with a ballet dancer coming to a jazz class, and she just couldn't do it. She was the prima ballerina in Chicago. She couldn't do jazz. So there's two things. Some people have mental, the way they think, the way their mind works. They can't switch frames. They get certain kinds of things and they don't get other things. We all have that, those limits and possibilities. But the other thing is that if your intention is to be a great ballet dancer, ballet, B-A-L-L-E-T, you do not move your hips. You do not breathe deeply. You stiffen yourself in a way to make your arms and legs and your body fly through space, right? So that doesn't work at all for jazz. But so you have to switch frames and you have to understand what the rules are that you're breaking, and which, and just the idea of opening up to these other rules, or just if you can't do it, you observe and respect someone else who can do it, or who opens your eyes and your mind to it. That's what I'm trying to say. We have to learn in peace to switch frames and to understand what frame someone is coming from, what intention. Thank you.
Okay, let's go to Eda. Thank you so much, Janet. I'm also aware that
about the intention, I tell you. In treaty, that's in treaty. Okay, intention, and the first study in the academic Beijing Academic Dancing University, and my major is modern dance. My father, he is a policeman. He know I dance, not wears underwear and clothes very short, and always on the ground, rolls on the ground at faster music. My father very angry, and he never told her partner and colleagues that, oh, my daughter is dancer, model dancer. He never, he just say, my daughter is a dancer, that's okay. He feels shame. It's true. And about is dancing just a tool, is the basics on the people thinking. My father, why I married so early, because my father think dancing is not good at dancing. I have to have a family. I have to husband teach me how to a wife. So I married a very young, about 22 or 23 years old. I married. So I now, that time I'm very hate my father, because she do my life, become the wife. Now I very thanks my father. Yes, dancing is a tool. Many dancing girl is, I just say, is not good. They do the dancing earn money. They do the dancing to do the better friendship for their purpose. And also my father think also, okay, my daughter is modern dance, the dance is not good to make a family, get married with your husband. Now I'm dancer because God, because my father, because my family gave me a good dance. I just say dancing is just a tool. It's not good or not bad, just from human being to think, to choice, to do. Is many in China, many girls they put a short clothes and dancing in the bar and do many much money, and they become very rich. They have many boyfriend, also dancer. It's true. Mm-hmm.
All right. Thank you so much, Mary. Let's go to Ada, and then we'll ask Peter to also help us also close for today. Yeah, Ada, please.
Good morning, good evening, everyone. Good afternoon. I want to begin by thanking Mary for just an enlightening presentation. I have two comments, and they are not necessarily questions, but just something to think about as we wrap up. One thing, Mary, that a comment that I liked in your presentation is when you say no culture is complete in itself. Every culture has to have a future. And I was thinking about that, this idea of incompleteness, in the sense that, yes, it is true, dance makes cultures incomplete. Why? Because it is a cultural universal. Whether I'm doing a Kamba dance, and then I go to Western Kenya and watch a Luo dance. I go to Luyaland and watch Isukuti, or go to China. There's joy. There is something that is just so good. As one professor who said that they nodded their head as they were driving and listening to music. That is a good thing. I think that is a reminder for us as peace educators, peace builders, to really center these cultural universals to build peace, whether it is food, whether it is clothing, whether it is dance, it is a good thing. And you have reminded us that. The other thing that I wanted to say, and it's really stellar, during war, our bodies undergo trauma. And that reminded me of a performance that we did here in Minnesota with my students from Rwanda and Burundi, because everybody wanted, about 15 years ago, everybody kept on asking. I teach intercultural communication, and Rwanda is one of the units that I teach. And everybody, even in the community, they wanted to know about the genocide, Rwandan genocide. And we did a 20-minute dance performance. We would listen to music and the background, and people, even before the genocide, the body moving good, dancing. Then the 94 comes and there's all this, and we showed that in our bodies, how trauma. And then during all these processes and people, and the body growing to a point where you could show, we are using our bodies to make peace. We, as women, it was just so beautiful. And that reminded me of that. And yes, dance is an act of resistance, freedom, liberation. Memory is so powerful. And it's a good point to really connect as peacemakers. I'm very appreciative. And Mary, I'll write to you. I will ask Dr. Mutalemwa for your address, because I will be at Minzu University next semester. in Beijing. So I hope we can connect and dance together.
Okay. I'm really appreciate. Yes. I will. You know the George's email. I will give the George's email, and George give you my email. I try to do some. Maybe we dance it together in Beijing. I try. Pray for me. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Mhm.
Thank you so much,
And
indeed.
yeah.
Peter, please.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I've got 3 computers going. It's so confusing. What came up was a distinction between improvisational music and dance and composed and arranged music and dance. I knew as a musician for many years, I knew a lot of people who could read anything on the piano, but they could not improvise. Without sheet music in front of them, they couldn't play a note. So I think these are very different skills. It's a completely different neurological setup that we're working with. Also, I love how in your presentation, the styles reflect the values of the axiology of a culture. That, for instance, in Asia, it takes most of the family to get the crops in. In Northern Europe, you have 3 months before you have to go in the cave and freeze. So 3 months to grow anything, and so on. So the dancing styles of people in Northern Europe and America, you'll see them all dancing individually. Isadora Duncan, by the way, was the name of a sailboat on which I lived for about 5 years. Isadora Duncan style is very individually expressive. And the dances that you show from China are communal and reflect a relationship as being paramount. The last thing, because I'm just talking too long, martial arts, I've studied for 40 years the Japanese, the obsolete methods of a vanquished feudal elite, and it is all about. I mean, a sword isn't going to do me any good if there's a battle, you know. But the point of it is balance. The point of it is you know, that balance. You can see that swirly symbol of yin and yang. There's a little bit of yin in the yang, and there's a little bit of yang in the yin. And the martial arts are about balance and restoring balance. So if your country is invaded, that's a big imbalance, and it takes a lot of work. But the idea is not just to completely destroy everything. The idea is to restore balance. Pretty tricky. Anyway, I'll shut up now. I love this presentation. It was such a delight. And now we know you so much more. We want more. Please give us a last word, and we'll wrap this up.
Okay. I'm very thanks, brothers, sisters, and the professors. So sorry, I'm not good at education because I'm dancer, but I'm not good at the speak. But my body language, sometimes use my body language to share my feeling. Today I'm really happy because I open my mouth, my tongue dancing in my mouth. And tonight I think my speech in the dancing, feeling my dancing in my mind. So I talk. Very thank you so much. I'm really happy I have a big family. You love dancing very much. I will be keeping on, do my best to keep peace, with dancing a bridge to connect all over the world. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much indeed. Thank you so much, Mary. And thank you everyone for your presence, for your participation. Looking forward to seeing you next Wednesday. Bye-bye for now.